Hi, and welcome to Nonprofit Narratives. I'm Cheryl Duvall, General Manager at KRVS Radio Acadie, the only public media organization based in this corner of Louisiana. We are a radio station primarily. We also are available on our app, which you can download for free, and on our website, krvs.org. More than any other station in the country, really, KRVS promotes and amplifies the music from this region because this is the home of Cajun and Zydeco music. And we have performers come into the studio, we have a YouTube channel, and we also expand beyond the accordion-driven music. It's an amazing place to listen to and dance to and go out and hear live music. And we try to reflect the best of that to a growing audience even beyond Louisiana. We feature local singer-songwriters, rock bands, jazz, R&B, and there's room for a little of everything, in part because we are non-commercial. We depend on donations and grants from our listeners, friends of the station, to keep us rolling. And so far, for 63 years, that has worked. We are located on the campus of UL Lafayette. We are not an academic program of the university, but as hard as we rep the culture, we also serve the university. We welcome people onto the air very often, people who are faculty, staff, students who have productions coming up. The School of Music knows us very well as the place to promote their concerts. And really, our purpose is public service. We like to think that we show the best of what this region has to offer, and we introduce Acadiana to itself. In many parts of this region, people think, oh my gosh, it's 5 miles, it's 7 miles, it's all the way across town. And in part by playing the mix of music that we do, bringing in volunteers to host programs and to perform lots of other functions around the station, we are bringing the region together. We want everyone to know what their neighbors are up to, because this is a place that, and I can tell you this having lived in lots of parts of the United States, this place stands out for its sense of welcome and hospitality, neighborliness, coup de main spirit, lending a hand. And just as I was really impressed when I first started visiting here as a Zydeco tourist in the late 90s, I noticed how often the musicians play benefits for people who need help. It might be a fellow musician. It might be somebody who's undergoing treatment for an illness. But they are very willing to help out. And I've found that that's also true at KRVS. I shouldn't say lost, a longtime program host who had been doing it for like 40 years, turned 80 and decided that he was ready to set it aside. And Jules Guillory is his name. He still listens. He still posts on social about us. And he held down a 3-hour live program every Sunday. Well, there's no replacing Jules Guillory, but we put the word out. Do you speak French? And would you like to host a radio program? And based on that, in 2025, we added 7 new programs to our schedule, so that on Sunday, you can listen to music presented in Louisiana French from 5 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. And then we go live to Vermilionville and broadcast from the weekly Bal de Dimanche, the Sunday dances that they hold with different bands. And people who have heard that say, oh, I didn't know Vermilionville did that, or I didn't know they were still doing that. And so more people are going. We also make sure that Creole is spoken and sung, and Saturdays, 8 hours of live hosted Zydeco, Creole music, Southern soul, R&B with Jean Broussard and Melvin Caesar from 8 to noon, and then from noon to 4, the Zydeco stuff with Herman Fuselier. And because we play so much of the music from here, we're finding that not only the musical community in this corner of Louisiana appreciates us, but increasingly, because we're able to stream and people can listen from anywhere in the world they are, growing numbers of our listeners live beyond Louisiana. They are in every part of the United States. They're in Canada. They're in Europe. We've recently rescheduled some of our Louisiana French programs to start during morning drive time in Paris, because we know that there are listeners over there, and we know that people from all over the country visit here, largely because of the music. I'm one of them. I came over as often as I could, and a little more than 4 years ago decided to move here, even before I knew that the job I now hold was open at KRVS. There's something really special about this part of the country, and we feel really strongly that it deserves a vehicle to let people know about it. And our catchphrase is radio that sounds like home. And for many people, whether they've only gotten interested in the music or visited the region, or very importantly, they grew up in this region and maybe they go away for college, for a job, for some other opportunity. This helps maintain the bond with the place they grew up. And something that happens here quite a lot is that people come back when they start their families. And we're a good way to bring them back, to keep them, engaged with their homes.
Yeah.
In a few minutes, we're going to talk about some of the public service we do, and also show a little film that gives you a taste of what we're putting down. And I hope you will enjoy it. It's the result of an effort that many of the large foundations put together when the federal government decided to stop funding public broadcasting last year. And the Public Media Bridge Fund commissioned a film and also gave us a grant that has allowed us a little bit of breathing room. So we'll get to that in just a moment. And I really appreciate your time and your attention. And we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back.
Looking to grow your nonprofit's impact? Join AOC Community Media for Nonprofit Nourish, a quarterly meetup designed to connect, empower, and elevate local changemakers. Each session features expert-led workshops, free headshots, PSA recordings, and a light lunch, all at no cost. Topics rotate quarterly, spotlighting a range of areas including storytelling, media strategy, and community outreach. Space is limited. Register now at aocinc.org/nonprofit, and let's nourish the good together. Whether you're just starting out or leading a seasoned organization, there's a seat at the table for you. Let's build a stronger, more connected nonprofit community, one story at a time. Acadiana nonprofits are the heartbeat of our community, and Nonprofit Narratives brings their stories to life. Produced by AOC Community Media, this half-hour series showcases local organizations, highlighting their missions, impacts, and the people they serve. From youth mentorships to environmental advocacy, each episode celebrates the voices driving change across Acadiana. Tune in to AOC Channels 1 and 2, stream at aocinc.org/watch, and download AOC's streaming app found on most streaming platforms. Real stories, local heroes. This is Nonprofit Narratives.
Welcome back to Nonprofit Narratives. I'm Cheryl Duvall, General Manager at KRVS Public Media. And to give you a little taste of what we're about, I'd like you to take a look at this video commissioned by the Public Media Bridge Fund. The culture and the language of Southwest Louisiana goes hand in hand with the music.
Lafayette is in the center of Louisiana. It is also the center of Cajun and Creole culture. What makes KRVS unique is that they're so specifically Lafayette. They're the only station playing that music and having hosts that are from in town, producing these shows, you know, in our native language, right? Which is Louisiana French, Louisiana Creole.
Mes amis, vous écoutez KRVS 88.7 FM, Radio Kazi, la musique
Yes,
sonne
you
à
just
la
heard
maison.
Corey Day. He's having a CD release party that he recorded back live in Alaska. And I think you will enjoy this one. Corey Day.
Well, I actually got a gig because somebody outside the country was tuning in over the web and was interested in booking me in my band through KRVS. So that's why KRVS is really so important to us, the musicians, and just everybody. And if that was to go away, it would hurt the culture.
A lot of the way KRVS brings our area to the world is about giving people a feel for what it's like to be in our area, whether that's the work that they're doing around our festivals or just on a weekly basis. They've done a phenomenal job. Because of our music and how special it is, it makes people want to come to visit. And so KRVS has the ability to reach people maybe that we're not reaching on a weekly or daily basis.
I remember the first time I heard KRVS French programming, it blew me away, just realizing this is a living, breathing cultural dialogue. It really is the soundtrack of our culture here. If KRVS was ever to go off the air, it would affect my quality of life immensely. I mean, it's scary to think about that, actually.
One thing I really appreciate about this culture is that it recognizes that we die and insists on living in joy anyway.
You're listening to KRVS 88.7 Lafayette, right here from Vermilionville. Great to see everybody out today.
Thanks for watching. I hope you were tapping your toes during that. And I would love to introduce a longtime friend of the station and my guest, Kevin Guillory, who is at the business school at University of Louisiana at Lafayette. And Kevin, I want to talk a little bit about one of the other things KRVS does, which is offer airtime, recorded interviews to representatives of nonprofits. And you've been in the studio in that capacity a lot. Tell us a little about what your program is, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so I work in the College of Business Administration at UL Lafayette. Our program is called the Accelerate Program, and what we do is work with entrepreneurs and business owners from the community around Acadiana. We teach all the business foundations, things like business plan and finance, accounting, marketing, operations, things like that. And being a part of the university, we focus a lot on external relationships. And so KRVS has been very instrumental in helping us get the word out about the different programs that we do, not only in Lafayette, but also the rural parishes around Acadiana as well.
I recall your being at the studio to talk about Accelerate Iberia Parish, Accelerate St. Landry, and others. And the idea is that there are not the same number of ways that people in a position like yours can get the word out about what is going on and what's available for people who, who are able to listen. The commercial TV stations don't have the resources they used to. The local papers don't either. And so this really is part of our public service, that if you have a project, if your theater company is putting on a performance, if you're a nonprofit that's having a fundraiser, you can promote it on KRVS. How has the response been? Are you able to tell when people show up at Accelerate and you ask where they found out about it?
Yeah, so part of the application is to ask how they heard about us. And some people do come because they've heard it on the news or on the radio. And so for us, any way that we can get the word out, because we're grant funded, we don't have a marketing budget, so we have to be resourceful when it comes to getting the word out. And so for us, we have a lot of people who have gone through the program, but one thing we've learned is that there are still people who haven't even heard about us, who don't know what resources are available to them if they have an idea for a business. And so being a part of KRVS has really helped us to reach people that we may not reach otherwise.
And one thing we're able to do is archive all the interviews, so that if somebody has heard that you're doing this, but doesn't know much more about it, you can go to krvs.org or our app and look under, the name of the program is Après-midi because it's on in the afternoon, and look by subject. And you can find, you've been on several times, and you can find out more, even if you didn't hear it in real time. And, we'd like to make that available because even as we're a relatively small region, and Lafayette Parish is relatively small, this is a place where 5 miles across town feels like a long way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It does.
And yeah.
So one of my favorite things about being on KRVS as well is I've had the opportunity to bring people on who's gone through the program. And so, I can talk about what we do and everything like that, but having someone who's been through the program, sharing their personal testimonial and their experience, I think can really show others people as well that they may be able to do it also. And just introducing people to the radio station, who may not have any experience with it, who may not have ever sat in front of a microphone at a radio station, and being on the radio, I think is a very good experience because not everybody has had that opportunity.
True. Yeah, I get my mail at the Moss Street Post Office.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live in Lafayette, you know that is the place where people get passports. And also it's a pretty big post office. And over, I am pleasantly surprised at who I run into there and that they do listen to KRVS. And I'm talking all kinds of people. Maybe I'm wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's just me, and maybe they'll hear a voice. And they say, on the radio. And you never know who's going to be listening. In part because we really are public, and we don't cater to a specific format. And, if you like different kinds of music, if you like reggae, we do 2 hours of reggae every Sunday night. And there's some informational programs too. I mean, your father, you want to keep up with what's going on in the world and make sure your son does too. And so that is also part of the programming mix. But when you think about the station beyond the interview, what do you tell folks about it?
I mean, it's an asset to be, I work at the university, so to have a public radio station at the university, to me is a big asset. And KRVS goes all the way to Lake Charles.
And now worldwide. Yes.
My hometown. Yeah. And so it's just amazing to have that resource in the community that many people may not know about. Because I know now streaming is very popular. People curate their listening and all of that. But to have a radio station in the community that caters to everyone, including college students with, Campus FM, I think is something that we should cherish. That's very important, especially now when people may not get as much exposure to things they may not be used to. So having a radio station that's open to everyone that, can really open people's mind, I think is very, very important.
And we like to say that human beings and not algorithms choose what's next on the playlist. And as general manager, I don't tell the program host what to play. So there are always surprises in the mix.
Yeah.
And it certainly keeps me guessing. And it's a great way to learn about, to discover new music or ideas that maybe aren't completely in line with your own. When we carry National Public Radio news programs weekday mornings and afternoons. But when we shift the focus from just playing the hits or just playing one kind of music, that opens it up for all kinds of listeners. And that's an advantage of public radio. We're not trying to sell you a car.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to introduce neighbors to each other.
Yeah.
Really.
And sometimes it's probably nice to listen to something without an ad. because we're bombarded with ads everywhere we go. So
Yes.
if you need a little reprieve, then that might be the way to go.
Oh, Kevin Gilrery, I really appreciate that you took time out of your day to join me here. I'm always glad to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate the work that you do.
Well, and likewise, because a lot of people benefit from what you all do.
Yes.
And I am also grateful to Acadiana Open Channel for allowing us this time, to the Stoller Family Foundation for its support of nonprofit narratives. And we appreciate your listening and watching and learning a bit more about what some folks call a cultural gem in Acadiana, KRVS Public Media. We're at 88.7 on your FM dial, krvs.org, online, or download the free KRVS app. And thanks for your time. And we invite you to tune in next month as we feature another nonprofit narrative on Acadiana Open Channel. I'm Cheryl Duvall. Thanks so much.